it?
Yes. It's connecting, but you're fuzzy.
Live. We are live. Hi, this is Tripty, and I am live from Melbourne, Australia. This is my first live, and I am nervous, but I am super excited. And joining me today is my dear friend, Margaret Williams. And unlike me, she is a veteran when it comes to going live on Substack, and I'm so excited to be here with Margaret. Margaret, thank you so much for joining me today. And today I would like to talk about celebration, motivation, inspiration, reflection, and your journey on Substack because you recently celebrated your 1 year anniversary on Substack, and it has been one hell of a journey for you. And yours is like, I'm just starting, and you are 1 year in. And I would love to know how you started on Substack and how your journey has been.
Well, I came to Substack. First of all, Tripty, thank you so much for the invitation. I greatly appreciate that. Hello, Randolph. What I wanted to say was I came to Substack because I always wanted to write. Okay, I've been writing since a small child, and so as a result, I was able to write about all the things that I was going through in my life, all of the turbulence, all of the trauma that I experienced, and all of the things that I went through during my career, all the challenges that I went through in my career. And my goal was to transition from the military over to Substack, so where I could help other people to uh, to reach their desired outcomes.
So you did know about Substack at the time you think of retiring.
Yes, I did. I knew about Substack and I also knew about Medium. But at the time, I felt that Substack would be much more, would be better for me. Okay. I just got, my intuition was telling me that. So that's why I decided to come to Substack. And then one of the first persons that I met when I come to Substack was Veronica. And she helped me, and she encouraged me to write the hero post because that's where that's your foundation, is that hero post where people can connect with you on a personal level. So after doing that, everything just took off, and here I am today. And I've met with a lot of challenges because working with the military and then growing up in a religious background, religious upbringing, uh, my ideal of Substack was much different than what it was. Okay. Working and being in a structured background and working with a multitude of different people, I thought a lot of things my perceptions were incorrect. Okay. And I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've learned a lot of valuable lessons.
And your journey 1 year in has been full of ups and downs. And to give everybody a little bit of context, I've been on Substack since August, and I met Margaret when I did the Lemon Tree cohort run by Veronica Yoga-Smith. And since then, it was a 30 days cohort. And after that, I have stayed in touch with Margaret. And I am so blessed to call Margaret my friend. She has been an inspiration. She has been my mentor. She has been my guide, my rock. And a lot of times I felt like an imposter on Substack and questioned what I'm doing on Substack. And she has been on me saying you cannot give up. And I love Substack because it's cozy and warm and fuzzy and such a nice place to be. But I really questioned what I am doing here. But Margaret always brings me back and reminds me. And if you the voice. I didn't have a voice before I came to Substack. I could hardly speak. I was so nervous. And if you see me a little, you know, like it's because of Margaret. And a lot of credit goes to Veronica too. They have been such an inspiration, so genuine, so kind, so grateful, so gracious, and so full of heart. And also, I have to mention Magdalena for the courage. I never looked at courage as, something that we wake up in the morning and say, I need courage. But courage is such an essential part of this. And it's such a nerve-wracking thing to do, to go live. And I was scared to go live today on my own, and I'm so thankful. I feel so blessed that Margaret joined. Hi, Kyra, for joining. And I feel emotional because Margaret was my first subscriber when I had no subscriber, and I asked Margaret why, and she said that she'd been there. Everybody starts from zero. She knows how it feels to start from zero and how important it is to support and help others on their journey, because every little, subscribers add up, and they give you that confidence, that courage, the motivation to just take one step after the other. And Margaret, this was supposed to be about my my thank you to Margaret, because it's been quite hard sometimes to, and I keep telling Margaret, I don't know what I'm doing here. And she always just tells me to take the next step, not to overthink things. Um, uh, and as you may or may not know, that I also have, I started this community called One You Collective, because I believe that, one you, one life, and you shouldn't have to do things alone. And I'm so glad I didn't have to do this alone by myself, by myself today. And I'm so thankful to Margaret. And going live is something that Margaret does a lot. And I'd like Margaret to tell us about her journey going live, because it's so nerve wracking and not the easiest thing to do. And Margaret, you do it all the time. And Margaret does almost, sometimes she does like 4 lives in 1 week. So, Margaret, tell us about your journey going live. Why did you choose to go live? What are the pros and cons and all those things that you find like about going live?
Okay, well, as you know, I'm an introvert, really. I know you find that hard to believe, but I really am. So the thing of it is when I decided to become a coach, to be honest with you, the part that we struggle with the most is putting ourselves out there. Okay, and as you know, and if we don't put ourselves out there as a coach, as a content creator, marketer, consultant, how are we going to get clients? Okay, that was the biggest struggle that I know among coaches. Okay, that they struggle with because of inner critic and a lack of self-confidence. Okay, who is going to buy my services? Okay, and I struggle with this still, because it's like, first we have to figure out who our ideal client is, and I have to this day to say who that is. Now I figured, okay, since I've been in Substack and I have so many conversations with people like yourselves, I want to work with CEOs and founders. Okay, they can afford to pay service pay for my services. Okay, I have a master's degree. I have a bachelor's degree. I have 39 years of Army civilian service. Okay, and I have all of this information. So, what sets me apart from everyone else? So, we have to show people who we are, what we can provide. And once people see us and understand who we are, then they can make a decision for themselves. Okay. So now, since I figured out who I serve, then I can go about putting all of these things into place. Okay. These things don't just fall out of the sky. Okay. I was working in government contracting for 39 years. So this is all new to me. Okay. I wasn't allowed to do coaching in the military. Okay. Why? I don't know, because we all always have new people coming in. We recruiting, you have your onboarding process. You have to bring people up to date, and make them feel welcome and all of these things. So there was a lot of bias. Okay. So because of this bias, kept me in this box. It kept me from going breaking through the glass ceiling. And so I was just waiting my time until I could get out into the workforce. I mean, out of the government and into, you know, now here I'm in Substack where I can actually do the work that I was called to do. The work that I called to do with the military was beautiful. Altruism at its finest, building the infrastructure, so people can have a quality of life that they want and they deserve. Okay. Now it's the same thing. This calling is it's a different calling. Okay. And I have developed people my entire career. And that's something that I loved. When I was in Iraq, they said, "Hey, you have this group of Iraqi engineers. You do what needs to be done." Okay. I nurtured and cultivated those relationships, brought those guys in and say, "Hey, this is our mission. This is what we need to do." And they followed my lead, you know? And so the thing of it is, we are called for service, but we don't necessarily know in what way that is. So we follow the path. Okay. And I followed the path, and the path led me here. And here I am today. And I thank God for this, bringing me here.
And it has been a story of reinvention, isn't it? This whole 1 year, how you had to, from your army background and coming here, like a whole journey, like entirely different. The things you had to learn, the things you had to do. And I think the one thing that really stands out with me, for me, when it comes to you, is your commitment, your consistency, your courage, and your dedication. And it might come out in different ways, the amount of notes you send out, the amount of lives you go through. But even with your lives, I love it because it's so diverse, it's so inclusive. And not everybody is your cup of tea, but the diversity. And, what I personally tell you is what they see, when they go on live, I feel is a very different Margaret to what I see when I, chat with you one on one. And Margaret is such a fun and funny person and lovable with the kindness of heart and so genuine and so, so loyal and so uplifting, And it's just been such a joy to have you in my life and to call you my friend. And but this again, this 1 year journey, talking about all these things, there's a lot of technical stuff to what you have to do when you go for live. You have to reach out to people. You have to, like 4 lives in 1 week it takes a lot, and you are constantly. I tell you, if I just did 10% of what you did, Margaret, I'd be so much far ahead in life. And this is just my one, my attempt of doing that, and hopefully inspire others to just do. And of course, the end of the year, and we wanted to celebrate you, and we wanted to inspire others, whoever might be watching, to do, because you are an introvert. I am extremely introverted and don't like to talk about myself and don't like to put myself out there. And but you've done it so beautifully, and you always try to empower people. And like this whole year, I know you'd been working towards. I did say I'll not bring it up, but to reach your 1,000 subscribers. And on Thanksgiving, you reached 980. You were 20 subscribers away from reaching 1,000 subscribers. And you decided to do what, Margaret?
Delete 200 non-active subscribers.
And to me, that takes a lot of courage, because it I know how hard you worked, to reach that number, and then you decided to delete it. And again, I said it is about courage, and we don't get up in the morning saying, okay, deleting that would be courage, but it takes a lot, because I know how hard you worked. And can you talk to us a little bit about why you did it? Just
I'm just going to be blunt, okay? The thing of it is, the reason I did that, not because I wanted to, because you said I'm working hard, so hard every day, all these lives, and my open rate down like 19, 18%, 17%, and I'm working this hard, and I'm not getting the results that I need and I want. So what do I do instead? I have to cut all of this dead weight so I can fly. Okay. And if anybody, they even do this in Facebook groups too. Okay. They say if you're, because people, they live busy lives. They say if you're not participating, we're going to delete you. Okay. That's not to say that you can't come back. Okay. The door is always open. But this is affecting me. I'm working so hard and my numbers is just dwindling. So what do? I have to cut it out. I had to cut it out so I can fly. Now my open rate went up to 29%, not 18, 29%. I deserve that. I have worked hard. I have sacrificed everything to be where I am today. We cannot let nothing and no one stand in our way. And that's what that's all about. That's a business decision. And if somebody don't like it, then too bad.
but I also think that, again, numbers is not important. We did talk about how we are so fixated by numbers, and we are always looking for numbers to validate ourselves. And I think it takes a lot of courage to, at 980, when you were just 20 subscribers away, that you decided to do that and not get fixated by the number, and to follow your heart and to know what is right and what you should be doing. I mean, not try to put a different face and say, I have 1,000 subscribers, when you know that half of them, or or whatever numbers you've deleted, were not even opening any of your emails, those like
Exactly.
numbers. And
They weren't. They weren't. It was clear. The data showed it. Okay. So it was not something that I did haphazardly. It's something that we talked about it. You know what I'm saying? So if it's like this, if you want to love something, set it free. If it comes back, it was meant for you. If not, it wasn't. It's really clear. Okay. And so I feel good about that. And I did that too, because when you look at, we got 2026 coming in. I just retired. Okay. I took the early retirement in April. Okay. I'm cleaning house. I'm cleaning everything. I'm cleaning out my closets. Okay. I'm cleaning out, I'm consolidating my finances. Okay. I'm doing everything to prepare for 2026 so I have a much better year. Okay. So reflecting, renewal, all of these things we all need to do to figure out what things we don't want to take into the new year. Okay, especially if it's not benefiting you, why take it into 2026? Right? And that's where I am today. And I feel good and I feel free and I'm at peace. Okay? I'm at peace because at the end of the day, is who do we have to rely on? Me. Okay? Who's paying my bills? Me. So how I'm going to do that? I have to be smart. I have to be forward thinking and forward proofing. Okay. So if it wasn't about the numbers. It was about respect. It was about everything that I hold dear, my values. And I don't compromise for that for nothing and no one. Okay. And that's where we are today. Everybody's
and
not going to like every decision that we make. Okay. That's the facts. I didn't like every decision my employer made either. That's why took the early retirement and left. Okay.
and let's talk a little bit about your what are your plans for 2026? I have been pushing you to do a workshop, and you did send out a survey, and we all know how surveys work. They,
Of course, we
then
know.
don't really tell. Yeah.
It is what it is. Everybody's busy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody also have their own publication and their own things that they're doing. Okay. So that survey, honestly, it probably had too many questions. Next time I would probably narrow it down to maybe 6 instead of 12. Okay. It's easier. How long does it take? It doesn't take long at all, because when I was working for the federal government, it was required that you fill. They say it's voluntary, but it's not. They demand that you do it because it helps them for their programming to determine the things that they want to keep and the things that they want to get rid of. So, but human nature. You can't make people do anything. Okay. Then what I do is go back and look at the data. The data will show which articles, or which videos that people resonate with. Okay. And and then part of it's intuition as well. So, it's going to be different case for different people. Okay.
So what is it about life that you enjoy the most? Because I know you get nervous a lot about
Every
all
time.
the life. Yeah, but you still do it, And what is it about life that you enjoy the most?
What I like about the live is that as soon as it says connecting and it's live, I just become a different person. Okay, altogether. And so I'm like, okay, I accept that. And I get this energy, and I get this I can't explain it. I can't explain it. I just come alive. That's all I can tell you. And then um I just feel amazing when I go live versus when I write. It's different. I have to be in a different type of m- mindset to do writing. Say maybe if I've been ruminating over something, a decision that I can't decide on, that's something that I would prefer to write on, to reflect on. Okay. But for other things, I just prefer to go live because I speak faster than I can write. My mind can't keep up. Okay. So that's when I need to go live so I can get it out in a quick way. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Because like you have to reach, there's a lot that goes into a life, especially for you, because you're reaching out to so many people. You don't just, you talk to them first, you see whether it's a good fit or not, and your topics are so diverse, and they're so inclusive too. And how does it work, like who, how does, in your head, how do you know who to choose to talk to, and what should you talk about? And because you go live, and it's like, what do I talk about? What do people want to hear? Like, how do you know? You've been doing it for a year now, and
I'm gonna tell you, I pick topics that I'm interested in because okay, and things that I am suffering with. So that's what I pick. Okay, so since nobody give me any information, I just make my own decision. Okay, so there it is. And then I'll look at the data. I'm like, oh well, they didn't like that so much. Okay, whatever. They're not gonna like everything I talk about anyway. Nobody does. Okay. So what I figure is that maybe after the first of the year, the paid subscribers, I'll ask the paid subscribers, what do you guys want to hear more of? I asked them that in the survey. Nobody didn't say nothing, so I like, okay, I'm going to continue to pick it myself. Okay, depending on the monthly theme. I'll pick something that gravitates to me. And as far as with the people, I just go through Substack and I listen to people live, okay? Not in an article, okay? Because, I got a short attention span. I skim articles. I'm just being honest. I don't have time to read every article.
no one
I'm
has.
I'm subscribed to over 1,000 people's subscriptions. So can I read 1,000 articles every day? No, I skim it. Okay, that's it. And then I was like, okay, I'll just give them a like anyway, because I don't have time to read everything. I'll just give them a like anyway, because people deserve to have a like on there. If nobody have a like on there, like, what's this about? Anyway, what did you ask me? I diverted. What did you ask me?
That's all right. But I think what would really help everyone is that whoever is sitting on the fence, wanting to go live. So this is my first live. And imagine this is your 1 year later and your journey on Substack. And if anybody's on the fence wanting to go live, how has live changed your life as such? How much, impact has live going live been for you? I know it's like a very important part of your life, but how has it changed you as a person? How has reaching out to all the people, talking to all the people, which ones were your, so many questions, I'm putting it all together, but which one was one of your favorite ones that you'd like to tell us before we end today? I don't want to take too much of your people's time. So if you want to talk about that.
I have all of them, really. I mean, the one that I did with Veronica, the one that I did with Jackie Verbal, the one that I did with, Marlon Wings. It's just every conversation was amazing. Okay. I enjoyed these conversations. Being an introvert, I enjoy deep conversations. I am not a small talker. Okay. You find somebody else for that. That's boring. But I love to have these deep conversations, and it brings so much value to people, and it brings value to me to be able to connect with people on a deep level like that. People can feel that. That's why people resonate, and that's why people keep coming back. Okay, they're looking for genuineness. They're looking for authenticness. Okay, and they're looking for connection. And if you can provide them that, then people will always be there for you. And I feel the same way. Okay. Like Maya Angelou said, I'm not going to remember what you said. Okay. But I'm going to remember how you made me feel. Okay. And people keep coming back for that. And that's why I like doing it. Okay. Reading an article is one thing, but that live spontaneous interconnection, you can't
The
replace
energy,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't replace that. And I
And
love
so
that.
to all the people who are on the fence about going live, it is a nerve-wracking thing. It takes a lot to come, to go live. What would you like to tell them?
Do it in your own time. Don't do it forced, because it needs to be authentic, because people can sense that. Okay? Give yourself space and time. Okay? Even if you only come on live for 5 minutes, okay? Give yourself the space and time to do that. And I also do it also to encourage other introverts to do it, to show them that if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? Baby steps. But it's not for everybody. I'm going to just be honest. It's not for everybody. If it's not for you, then don't force yourself to do something that's not for you, because it's not going to come out well. That's the honest thing. I had this ability. I was told that I was a manifesting generator. And the fact that I stopped wanting to write and prefer to speak is evident of that. Finding out who you are, what you want in life, and what your gifts and your skills are, and modify your plan according to that, you're going to be successful. But trying to force a square into a round hole, it'll never work. Find out what gravitates to you and do that. You will never work a day in your life. That's what I feel.
And courage is a big part of it, isn't it? You have to be courageous. You have to be give yourself permission. I think we don't give ourselves permission enough. We just you know, want somebody to, the like, subscribe, and all those things. You know how it works, like feel validated, and it is not easy, I feel. And but to take that step, the next step, and I would still tell everybody, just do it once, even, and just experience it. Because if you don't experience it, you'll not know whether you like it or not. And uh, you might love it, you might hate it, but I would say just everyone give it a go, and see how it feels. I know Margaret feels nervous all the time she goes live, but that doesn't stop her. And and Margaret, what about 2026? You're talking about doing some workshops for 2026. You want to do more. You're already doing
Uh,
4 lives. Are you planning to cut down on lives or do more lives, or?
no, because what I want to do is start focusing on my paid subscribers, okay, and finding out what they want and their needs are, and to help them to move towards that. Honestly, I have had a problem with selling, and I'm trying to get over that, okay, because I have gifts and skills, and it costs me money. Okay, so to be able to get a return on the investment of the degrees and the experience and everything I have is to utilize our skills. That's why we got this knowledge anyway, right? To help other people. So why not do that? Now that I've determined who those individuals are that I want to help, to include organizations, now I can put these things into place. Okay, but things take time. Okay, and you have to give yourself grace. And the fact that you did this live today, it was a lot of courage for you. Okay. And hopefully
I
this will encourage you to and continue to do these lives because you have so much to give, Tripsy. Okay. And I can't tell you that enough.
I know. Thank you, Margaret, for that one. And I always say, I mean, you, Magdalena, Veronica, have been such a big part of the courage part of things for me. Otherwise, I would still, I wouldn't be here. That's the, the truth and the fact of it. I wouldn't have been here if it hadn't been for three of you who have been constantly been like a rock and anchor, and just supporting me, pushing me, and guiding me, and checking up on me, and I feel very, very blessed. Margaret, thank you so much for joining me. And I did not expect so many people to join. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. And if, yes, please, I think everyone should try going live. Please try to get someone with you, because it's so much easier doing it with someone. You feel their energy, and you feel all the love. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And I'll catch you again next time. Thank you, Margaret.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you. Thank you all. All right. Bye bye.